City of Atlanta computers held hostage by a cyber attacker. How it happened and the far-reaching impacts tonight.
They marched for change and changed the world. They look ahead to Saturday's Young People's Marches and believe they know what the impact will be.
Facebook crackdown. Could the government soon control what you say and do online? Live from Atlanta, 11Alive at 5 starts now.
We have breaking news right now. The City of Atlanta's computers are being held hostage. The police department, courts, and just about every other single department is impacted by this cyber attack that is ongoing.
This attacker is demanding a $51,000 ransom. Just minutes ago, the mayor said she has not decided whether the city is going to pay it. And now the FBI and Homeland Security are investigating. This situation is so serious, they are even considering shutting down City Hall tomorrow. 11Alive was the first to break this story this morning with our team working to get answers all day long.
And minutes ago, Ryan Kruger spoke with Atlanta Mayor Keisha Lance Bottoms and the Chief of Police, Erica Shields. Ryan?
Yeah, so Jeff, right now, we don't know just how far widespread this ransomware attack is. They are telling us a few departments that were not impacted. The airport was not impacted. Now, they say police officers, what they decided to do was basically go back 20 years in time. They're doing everything, all their reports by hand, as opposed to using their reports with the computer. Now, they say their systems were not impacted. They did that decision out of an abundance of caution. But again, not clear how far widespread. Another question we did ask about personal data. Customers were having issues. They couldn't get online and pay their bills, like their water bills, for instance. So there was a question about personal data. City officials are telling us they don't believe personal data was impacted, but they are asking employees, customers, be proactive, check out those credit reports, check out your bank statements. Now again, this is a $51,000 ransom. They're asking for the money in Bitcoin, the ransom the hackers are. So earlier this evening, I asked Mayor Keisha Lance Bottoms, is the city going to pay that attack? Here's what she said.
Is the city of Atlanta going to pay the ransom?
We can't speak to that right now. We will be looking for guidance from specifically our federal partners on how best to navigate the best course of action. Right now, we are focused on fixing the issue.
Test 1, 2, 3.
Not clear how long it's going to take to fix that issue. We're kind of in uncharted territories here. Now, we had heard from some employees they were having issues filling out their timesheet online, but they said today everyone's going to get paid. Payday's next Friday. They'll even write checks by hand if they have to. So a lot of details for us to work out. We'll join you back out here live for 11Alive News at 6.
All right, Ryan, thank you so much. Caitlin Ross, the first to break the story this morning. Caitlin, how did we even get here?
Yeah, it started very early this morning, 5:30. The City of Atlanta employees received an email alerting them to a major IT issue. You're now looking at a copy of that email. Notice the words that are bold and highlighted. Power down and unplug from the wall. That's when we knew it was serious. At the same time, this is what some employees told 11Alive they were seeing on their computers, a demand for ransom to pay Bitcoin to the anonymous hackers to get back into their systems. The cost, $51,000. At 11:30, the FBI confirmed they were investigating. That's when the city gave us a statement saying this was a computer outage. But we showed them that screen grab. Then we showed it to security expert Andy Green with KSU, who said that was the time to raise the alarm.
That I'll tell you the same thing. I've got this message on my screen that says I need to pay somebody Bitcoin, then that should immediately start firing a red flag with your help desk supervisor so that they know we've got a ransomware incident happening. We don't know the scope yet, but we need to start digging and getting prepared for that.
11Alive researchers have been digging on this all day and uncovered a trail of cyber attacks targeting cities. In Leeds, Alabama, they paid $12,000 to get their computers back. Last month, the city of Hinesville servers were hit by ransomware, but no sensitive data was compromised. A month after the attack in Farmington, New Mexico, they still don't have access to all of their files. And in Englewood, Colorado, computers shut down the entire city's IT system. Here in Sarasota, the demand was $33 million. They say the only thing that prevented them from a catastrophic data loss was an IT worker who ripped the plug from the wall just in time. Remember, Atlanta City employees were told to do the exact same thing this morning.
All right, Caitlin, thank you. Ransomware is exactly what it sounds like, and hackers hold your computer, an entire system of computers, and they hold it hostage unless you pay. Here's how it typically works. A virus infects an individual computer, and that user access an internal network, and it quickly spreads, looking for vulnerable locations like where updated software patches haven't been installed. All your data is encrypted, so you can't access it anymore. The hacker then sends a notice demanding payment and promising a key to unlock your system. The payment is demanded in Bitcoin, and that is, of course, an untraceable currency. The Department of Justice warns that even if you pay the ransom, it often doesn't work. Sometimes the only way to regain control is to completely rebuild your system. Wow. According to the Department of Justice, more than 4,000 ransomware attacks have occurred daily since January 1st, 2016. It is a 300% increase over the year before. And according to a White House report released just last month, malicious cyber activity has cost the United States economy up to $109 billion in 2016. We still have a lot of unanswered questions tonight. You can count on our newsroom to continue to push city leaders for answers and transparency. As soon as we get an update, we will post the information on 11alive.com. You can also download our 11Alive app to have alerts sent directly to your phone.
We are also following breaking news tonight in southeast Atlanta. Sky Tracker was just over the scene of a crash at a Flat Shoals and Boulder Crest intersection. We spotted an ambulance and several squad cars out there. Right now, our team is working to get more details about what happened. The police took center stage today at the Tex McIver murder trial. The Atlanta attorneys accused of intentionally shooting and killing his wife Diane as they were riding in an SUV in 2016. Today, lawyers looked at how police processed the inside of the SUV where Diane McIver was shot. Her husband, Tex, contends it was an accident. Police say it was intentional. Some of the most interesting testimony today came from an Emory police officer who was one of the first responders to the hospital where Diane was taken. He told the court about a conversation he overheard in the waiting room between Tex and his friend Steve Maples, who is also a lawyer.
I don't remember the totality of the conversation, but I remember him saying, "What do I say? What's the plan?"
You remember him saying, "What do I say? What's the plan?"
Yes.
But you didn't hear what he said before that.
I did not.
Also today, the jury is scheduled to see the police interview with Tex McIver.
Right now, there are about 4,000 people legally registered to use medical marijuana here in our state, but there is no way for them to legally buy it since you can't grow it here and federal law prohibits you from bringing it across state lines. It seems like a catch-22, and it is. But now a new bill inside the state capitol could change all of that. 11 Alive's Doug Richards explains for us tonight.
This is the fiber, it's like cotton.
These are hemp products, perfectly legal to possess in Georgia, but it's illegal to grow the cannabis plant that produces them.
I think we're behind the times. I think we don't need to study what we already know.
Aviva Vuvuzela would like to see the legislature embrace the in-state cultivation of industrial hemp and medical marijuana. For approved patients, medical marijuana is legal to use and possess in Georgia, but because it's illegal to grow marijuana here, the Georgia families who buy it from out of state are technically breaking federal law. And Governor Deal, who leaves office at the end of the year, has said repeatedly he doesn't want to legalize in-state cultivation.
New people will be coming in next year.
So some lawmakers want to look beyond this year into a near future when cultivation could become legal.
Just to keep this issue alive and well.
Alan Powell is pitching a study committee that would explore medical marijuana cultivation, including the mechanics and the security. It would look at whether it's grown by a state-run entity or perhaps by a state-approved nonprofit or by licensed private sector growers.
Those that might be fearful that you'd have the kids running out there and stealing pot plants the way they used to do watermelons, I don't think you're going to see that. You'll see something that be very controlled security-wise and otherwise.
But you won't see it soon. The committee wouldn't produce new legislation until next year, after Georgia's voters have elected a new governor and new lawmakers. At the Capitol, Doug Richards, 11 Alive News.
Breaking news now in Douglas County. Rescuers are on the scene of a house fire on North Sweetwater Road in Lithia Springs. A child has died. We're told several other family members have now been taken to the hospital. 11 Alive's Natisha Lance is live there at the scene. Natisha.
Cheryl, when you look at this house, I'm going to step out of the way so that you can see what I'm talking about. It is almost unbelievable that people made it out of this house alive. You can see it's completely charred. The air here still smells like a burning home. And then when you look really closely, you can still see smoke billowing off of this house. What we're told is that firefighters were called to the scene around 1:30 this afternoon. They encountered heavy smoke once they arrived on the scene. And you can even see the front steps of the porch are just completely charred right here. Once they arrived, they did see those 4 people who were inside the house who were transported to an area hospital. And as you mentioned, Cheryl, the insurance commissioner is telling us that a 7-year-old who was inside that house did die. Investigators are still on the scene, and it is an active investigation. We still don't know the cause of this fire, but investigators will be working to try to determine that. Firefighters still on the scene here. If we pan over here, Charles, we can see the fire truck that is still over here. We're just still trying to get a lot of questions answered, Cheryl, as we're still trying to figure out, as investigators on the scene, still trying to figure out exactly what was the cause of this fire in Douglas County.
All right, a 7-year-old has died. The thoughts with that family. All right.
We have another house fire story as well. Tonight, investigators, they're trying to figure out how a fire started at a Carrollton home where a man was killed. Neighbors say 57-year-old Tim Horvath was disabled. His body was discovered in a back bedroom after a fire broke out in the home's porch last night. Neighbors told us they heard explosions.
That's when I saw the flames shooting like 20 feet over the top of the house, and I ran up there, and there was nobody up there. There was a guy standing up the street watching it, and I started screaming for his name. I banged on his bedroom window.
Mr. Horvath was pronounced dead at the scene. The fire chief told our crew there that there were several propane tanks at the house, but it is unclear if they played any role in how that blaze began.
5 billion gallons of water down the drain. Why it's happening and what it could mean for your water bill.
I'm meteorologist Samantha Moore for Chris Holcomb this evening, and we're still looking at temperatures well below average for this time of the year by saying 10 degrees. So coming up, when temperatures will move back up towards normal and when that rain will make a return.
And calls for Facebook to be regulated after a major data breach. Go to 11alive.com/vote. Let us know what you think. Coming up later, we will dig into how this could affect you.